Okay, my name is Mohammad Ali Huzaifah, and on the screen, to the screen on the right, you can see my group mate Hani Amirah and Aleef Alamghir. Okay, so our group, we're gonna do an analysis based on the speech Strange Answers to the Psychopath Test by John Ronson. Okay, so we're gonna do our analysis while playing the video on the background, and I hope you enjoy our presentation. Okay, Hani?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to start with the type of speech. So in this particular TED Talk, Ronson was delivering a persuasive speech, but he did the persuasive speech in a form of storytelling. And his intention in this TED Talk is to raise the idea that we should not define people by their maddest edges. A quote from himself. And this is actually an idea that he was also trying to centralize in his book, The Psychopath Test. And it basically just to say to this audience that not all the tests of psychopathy accurately describes an individual mental health. So, Ali?
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the speaker. So let's get to know the speaker. So the speaker is John Ronson, a very accomplished British American journalist and filmmaker. And like I said, he's very accomplished, as in he has been featured in many TV shows, talk shows, uh, and even radio stations. So he wrote a lot of books and filmed a lot of movies. The most notable is The Man Who Stared at Goats and The Psychopath Test in 2011. So that's the speaker. Now, Alec.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the audience. So basically, the speech was organized by, by TED Talk organization. And usually in TED Talk speech and event, most of the people, like you name it, are higher ups people. Name it, just be like businessmen, intellectuals, politicians, and more, of course. And like all these people are old. Some are young, but not many. But most are old, and they vary from their different ethnicity. Most people are invited from different parts of the country to watch the speech, and even to deliver the speech. Most are invited. However, like try to imagine higher ups people in the room, thousands, and you are going to deliver a speech to all of them. It needs to be perfect. You cannot make a mistake. But however, the speaker, he did a good job. He did a great job in delivering his ideas, his stories, without having without even stuttering. If you watch closely and properly, you can see all of his tricks and his skills, perfection. And that's all from me. Um, Hani?
Alright, so I'm going to talk about the attention grabber in the introduction. Now, Ali, can you please play the video?
Okay.
Alright. He started the TED Talk very smoothly, casually, and natural, and we can see that by doing this, he gets the audience to feel closer to him. And instead of using the cliche rhetorical question or the flashy quotes, he used a different way by catching the audience off guard and start with a story with the implementation of interesting sound, visual aids, and a very interesting animation. And he also included humor in his introduction as well, so that really gets the audience to be comfortable with him and immediately catches their attention. So I'm going to go for the speaker's introduction. So he did not waste any time with a lengthy introduction. He just immediately went straight to the story by giving an insight, and with this he is giving insight of the topic that he's doing. So he started by telling the story that he of how he discovered the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, and how this sparked his interest in him to do further research about mental disorders, particularly about psychopathy, and how from here he met a patient from Broadmoor Hospital named Tony, who basically faked his mental illness, and um, this attention really captured the audience attention and really give an insight of the general idea of his speech. Um, so the next one,
All right,
Aleef.
I'm here.
Yeah.
So first, I'm going to talk about the points
Uh,
that were
wow.
stated by the, were stated. So I'm going to talk about the points right now. Of course, there are main point and supporting points. Supporting points, right? And in this speech, um, the speaker mentioned that the main point as psychologists tend to overdiagnose or label people as mentally ill. That's the main point of the speech. The speaker always keeps on repeating the main point throughout the speech. If you notice that. And right now, I want to focus like on the supporting speeches. I mean, supporting points. For example, on the time span, at the time span of 6:38 seconds, 6 minutes 38 seconds, the speaker mentioned that what do we know about normal? People can be, people can be accused of being crazy and everything, but still, how do we know that, you know, the things that we are doing is normal? Maybe it's not. We don't even know. We can't be sure, we can't be sure about it. And next, on the timestamp of um, 13:43, uh, the speaker, John, also mentioned about the psychopathic spotter. They always try to fit in the boxes of, they always try to cut off the normal parts of the so-called psychopaths, the, accused person, because they want to, that won't be good for them. It'll be better for them if the people that are accused of, being psychopaths are indeed psychopaths. So they do that. And the final one is at 14:37, it mentions about children bipolar. There are, like psychologists. Psychologists that diagnose children as having bipolar when they are, just because they're throwing tantrum. But actually, that is normal for children to do, right? Especially when they're growing and still developing at a young age. That is normal. But they got diagnosed with bipolar at that age. Right now, I'm going to skip to the next point, which is the language. The figurative language. The speaker used some figurative language in the speeches, but in the speech. But I just want to focus on one. The first one is the first and the only one that I'm going to talk about is in the timestamp of 1409, where he compared the job of journalists as finding a gem and stitching them together like medieval monks and leaving the normal stuff on the floor. This implies the working journalist involves in the manipulation of story and putting pieces that are considered interesting about in the interview. So that is the only figurative speech I'm going to talk about. Thank you very much, Ali.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the structure of the speech itself. At the very beginning of the speech, the speaker uses the medium of a story. He tells a story, and might I add, in a way that is so immersive, like the visuals he used, the choices of words, his pauses at the right timing, the use of humor, it was all on point. I mean, whenever he made a joke, the the audience would laugh, and that's a very clear sign that the audience is listening very well to the story and they are interested to the story. And this proves that as a speaker, he did a very good job. Now, I'm going to talk about the argumentation of his storytelling, of his speech. Well, at the very start of his speech, he would he uses the story to prove his point. He would make the story in a way that is very slow, but it it builds the argument. In his introduction, he presents the viewer with a rhetorical question. He said that do psychiatrists have this weird tendency to categorize people, to overdiagnose people? That was his point, and he uses this rhetorical question to make the viewers think for themselves. And this is a very good method. By using this method, he could make the viewers be more critical and be more engaging in the argument. So, what do you
Right.
guys think?
I believe that the ending was very, very chilling. The way he ended ended the speech. It was like very simple, but
Yeah, the
I don't know
story,
what to
right?
say. Very
Like,
simple question, but at the same time, it's very chilling. What do you think, Hani?
I think, yeah, it it is very simple, but it leaves the audience sometimes, oh, like thinking. And you know what I think is going to make it more chilling is like plot twist that he is actually Tony. Isn't that going to be me? Isn't that going to be a plot twist?
yeah, I mean, I think that's possible. That's
Maybe
possible.
he is Tony, in a way, point of view. But yeah, I mean, the ending is very interesting. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, he started his speech, his storytelling with that much atmosphere, that much climax, yeah. And then
Yeah.
at the very end, he still maintains that excitement in his
Yes.
story. So
It's still
the
the same.
audience are just so interested from the beginning to the very end, right? And the
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
of pauses. You notice that, Ale?
Yeah, I know this. Like he really like takes his time just to make the atmosphere more interesting. Just to take the pace of the story to the right to the right pace, just to keep it you know stable and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
to lead to the
Yeah,
climax.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he paused, I started to think about the last word he said, and then it just like creates some sort of like impact. The
Yeah.
words
Just
just seem so
Yeah.
heavy, you know. It's just, I mean, like I think it's a very good technique to build like anticipation among the audience, right?
yeah. There is a very good technique. I will say that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could use that in our future speech.
Yeah, we
Yes.
should pause more.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I
Very
mean, like,
cool.
yeah. I think that is all, I guess,
Yeah,
for the video review, the movie review. I mean, the movie review. I mean, the review of the speech.
yeah.
Analysis.
It was overall a very interesting speech
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
very exciting.
But
Okay, what's more
not
nice?
gonna lie, I am really I didn't regret using this video, using
Yeah,
this
me
speech
too.
as yeah.